Hello everybody, back here again for our vlog a day, and today is Thursday the 8th, and today was a lovely, beautiful day to be alive. Got this morning, fairly decent time frame, got the puppy out, got her fed. She's the only dog here right now, so I'm kind of leaving her food out so she kind of has more of a run of the food whenever she wants it. She's more of a grazer at home, is kind of how she eats, kind of whenever the hell she wants to. So it's working out good for her. Been mixing in a little bit of wet food for her too, because she doesn't eat real good when she's here. So she's just scared of everything all the time. So it is what it is. So, but yeah, I got a few things done. I was able to jump in the hot tub for a little bit. Wife got off to work. Everything went smoothly there. Had a couple other things to take care of, just kind of hanging around the house here and there, nothing too major. Ended up seeing somebody post that we had basically it was just like an earthquake off the coast, whatever, that I saw, and it's about the time that the dog was like freaking out in the evening and like losing her mind, and it's the dog realized I thought that's what it was, because she was like just barking and scared of everything, and wasn't like just scared of all, like wasn't like she's looking in a certain direction or nothing. So I'm thinking that's what it was, but I saw online where it posted up, so like, that's kind of cool to see. That it's kind of scary, but it's a thing. So yeah, I went ahead and figured that out. So that's kind of a nice little thing to figure, I guess, that apparently she's more sensitive to it than we were, because I didn't feel anything, and it was like a 4 on the Richter scale or something off the coast. So definitely an interesting little concept, but it was right at the same time frame when it happened. She actually started acting up, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes before it happened, and then went ahead and from there. So that's got to be what it was, I think, but who knows. I just found myself 2 separate dimes. So hey, I'm willing to pick up change here on the walk, making money. So, but got a couple other things done. Went ahead and got my belts finished, measured out. I needed new belts for the Suburban, so I thought, well, I'll just run up and buy some belts for it. So I took a couple belts I had, and I needed I got a long belt and a short belt. The long belt, I needed a new belt that was 1 inch longer, and then one that was 3 inches longer. And the short belt, I needed one that was 2 inches longer. So it is what it is. And the belts or the numbers and stuff on them, I need to go up there to measure the little device. And I ended up stopping in at one of the chain parts stores, because that's all we have here anymore. We don't have any independent parts stores anymore. So stopped in there, and that's usually the one I go to every time. It's just the one I walk into, because it's, I don't know, it seems like I've gotten a nicer service out of that place for most cases. So had one of the most weird experiences ever in a parts store in my life. It was super crazy. So walk in, lays on the phone with an order, no big deal. There's a guy over there, didn't recognize the woman or the guy, which again, I don't go to parts stores a lot. Luckily my stuff doesn't break too often and works out for me. So, but asked me to help me anything. I told him what I needed, and he's like, oh, it's my second day here. I'm like, okay. Part of my thought was, shouldn't you have somebody working with you, helping train you? But whatever. He's like, well, I gotta look your vehicle up. I'm like, well, nothing on this thing is stock, nothing on it is original, so we're wasting time here. I brought the belts to measure it. You should have a device back here. It looks like a yardstick with horseshoe on the top and horseshoe on the bottom, shaped piece of plastic that will measure the belts. And then if it measures out to say 49 inches, I know I need one that's 52 inches and 50 inches and so on and so forth, whatever. So I'm like, he'll go from here. He's like, well, still gotta look up your vehicle. I'm like, okay, whatever makes you happy, I guess. So he goes, well, what year is it? And I said 1967. And he got this weird look, like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with that? So it looks on the computer screen, and the computer screen starts off in the 2020s. And I'm like, okay, whatever. And it's a weird ass thing, but so it starts in the 2020s, and each row is like 10 years, and it stops at like 1970. And he goes, oh, we don't need to go back that far. And I'm like, okay, let's go measure the belts. He goes, well, we got to punch in the vehicle. And I'm like, okay. So there's a little green button right there. It's like an arrow on the top of your screen there. Hey, if you click that, it'll go over and show you the 60s and 50s and 40s and so on and so forth. He's like, oh, you know more about computers than I do. And I'm like, okay. So basically punch it all in, the make, the model. It takes forever to get through it all. And then he goes, what belts do you need? I said, well, I need one for this and one for that and one for this. And he's like, it doesn't say it was available for your vehicle. I said, exactly, because my motor's not original. Nothing's original. So it doesn't matter what I need, because it's all new brackets, it's all new whatever. Even if you gave me a number off that computer, that belt would not affect me, because none of my brackets are the same, so none of this stuff matters. So there should be a device in this building somewhere. He said, well, the measuring tool will be over here by the things that's on the shelf. I said, nope, it's not something I buy and I own. It's something every parts store has. You guys keep it in the back, and then, or usually up behind the counter here somewhere. We measure the belt and we move on. So he doesn't have a clue. So he basically goes through, says the hell with it, waits for her to get off the phone. She goes back to get parts pulled and asks if anything need help. I told her what it was. He starts telling her it's completely wrong way he's telling her. So I told her what it was. She goes, oh yeah, it's right back here. So she takes him back there, shows him where it is, and apparently it's strapped to the wall, the shelf. They can't take it out. So I assume they don't trust their own employees to not lose it, whatever, who knows. So they come back up, and I tried to hand the belts, and she's like, you can take him back there. And I'm like, okay. And I heard her say, you can take him back there, I'm starting to trip on. So we go to head back there, and I said, okay. And we stop, see their stuff. I'm trying to get him to go in front of me. He goes, oh no, you go first, I'll follow you. And I go, well, I don't know where I'm going. So he's like, well, I'll tell you. Just go right here and then take a left. I'm like, okay. So go down. First 2 aisles are dead ends of the wall, so there's no left to be taken, so I don't turn on them. I get to the aisle that looks like I'd be able to take a left, so I turn right. Then I turn left. He goes, oh no, right there. It's not that soon. I go, okay. So I get back out the main aisle, and again, I'm thinking, just walk in front of me. What the fuck is wrong with you people? So I then walk straight, and he goes, no, you're supposed to turn here. I'm like, okay, you could tell me this before I don't see it. In my head, I'm thinking, you could tell me this before I make the wrong turn, and we could be a lot easier in this thing. So as I get back, and then after I made the left finally, so after making the left, I look up and see the item I need. So I'm like, hey, there it is. I know where it is. So I'm just like going to it, and I basically hand the belts, and he goes, well, I don't know how to use this thing. And I go, okay, then why are we back here? Like, what the fuck are we doing? So it's a mess. He's like trying to tell him that because the markings on the thing, it makes it 20-inch belt. I said, it's not possible. The lines inside, he's like, oh, it's a 5,150-inch belt. And I go, nope, completely impossible, because that's like hundreds of feet. Like, no, because there's 12 inches in a foot, and this belt is not 5,000 inches long. So he's like, well, I don't know how this works. I don't know. Second day here, and I'm like, you told me that. So I'm like, okay. So I'm looking at this, I'm trying to figure out myself. He keeps moving it from me and stuff. I'm like, well, if you don't have a clue and you give it up, I'm trying to look at it, you won't let me look at it. So I just took my belt back off the measuring, and I went to walk out. I said, hope you have a wonderful day. I said, I'll go find my belt somewhere else. So I go to leave. And as I'm leaving, as we're getting back towards the front, he's following me out. And luckily I know how to get out of there because I've now saw my way in. So I see my way out. As we're in the counter, I said, I hope you have a great day. And I really hope you get the training that you deserve. Because I couldn't imagine being dropped into a new business as an employee with so little training. Because clearly he did not get trained on how to measure belts yet, and doesn't know how to use a computer to even find a year past 1970. So I said, I hope you get the training that you deserve. And he gets all defended. He goes, well, it's only my second day. I was like, yeah, I wish you all the best. And he starts raising his voice, well, I just don't know how to use the machine. He gets all loud. And I'm like, what the fuck? And another lady comes walking up out of the aisle, which I don't know what she was doing. She's wearing a shirt that says the name of the company on it. So I assume she works there. And I was like, well, if you work here, and this guy clearly has no idea what's going on, that one was on the phone, why not just have him shadow behind you? And then be like, when you get the part, go, hey, go pull part such and such, write on a little post note, have him go do that. Then come back up and show him how to do this job, not just turn him loose in here. This is horrible management. So she goes, what's going on? I said, I'm trying to get a belt measured, and he don't know how to use the machine. He goes, I told you, second day, I don't know how to use the machine. I said, that's all I need. She goes, well, what do you need? I can look it up for you. I said, nope, can't look it up. It doesn't fit these belts. The motor, the brackets, nothing on it's original. We can't look it up. That's why I brought these belts with me. And he's over there rattling off something, getting louder. And then she walks behind the counter. She goes, well, everybody just needs to calm down. I'm like, what? She goes, everybody needs to calm down. I go, how am I supposed to calm down? I'm being perfectly fine here. He's the one yelling. And she goes, well, I mean, everybody and everybody. I said, well, why don't we just say what we mean is, why don't you tell your employee he needs to calm down? Well, everybody, I said, I didn't raise my voice. I didn't do anything inconsiderate. Wasn't even snotty to anybody here. And he's like, well, told me I wasn't trained. I said, no. I said, I hope you get the training you deserve. That's all I said. Kindly, she's like, well, everybody needs to calm down again. I said, you're saying everybody. You're now raising your voice, and he's raising his voice. Me as a customer, I ain't doing shit. So I'm not going to work into this, everybody. I'm going to go and leave, and you guys have yourself a blessed day. Now, as I was leaving, the lady who was on the phone, I think actually has a little bit of training and knows something there. I heard her say something to the tune of, I think, hold on, I think I can help you. And I got to the door, and I'm like, not going back in here with an employee who doesn't have any training on the second day, who is now upset and frustrated and pissed off because I said, hey, I hope you get training, which, goddamn, I'd hope everybody gets training. And another woman who's telling me I need to calm down because her employee's yelling. I didn't cause any of this. So, and might be a coworker, probably not her employee, probably coworker. But walked out the building, walked right across the parking lot. There's another parts store literally right there. Left my motorcycle parked in their parking lot, went to the other side, got to the other building. Super nice old man, worked it out. Didn't have the belts the size I needed. He had some that were close, so I took a bunch, bought a bunch of belts for him, and got back here to the house to basically figure out what does and doesn't fit, and then I can take the ones back. So left there, got back on my motorcycle, drove home, tested out the belts. 2 of the 3 work, 1 doesn't. It's one that I needed, it's probably the size I needed. So gotta take them back. I'm like, no big deal at that point. I don't care, I'll do it later. Had a couple other things. Ended up having a client reach out, wouldn't know if I could watch their Rottweiler. Actually, it's their father's Rottweiler. He ended up getting really sick here a while back, and kind of emergency last minute thing, I ended up watching the dog. She's super friendly, super kind, but was never socialized with people and or other dogs. So I don't trust her 100%. Like, I would never leave her alone and unattended with other dogs. And it sounded like then they thought the dad wasn't gonna make it, and they were looking for a rehoming situation then, but apparently he got better, wanted the dog back, so get the dog back. And the daughter has a reactive dog that's not friendly or other dogs, and she's getting it training, but it's not safe to be in the house, so she can't take him or take her and whatnot. So she reached out and said, hey, I think my dad had a stroke, we're taking him to the hospital. I don't know if you could watch the dog for, I don't know, like 10 days or something. Hopefully we can get some stuff figured out by then and be able to move forward. And I was like, God damn, I really don't want to mess with that dog right now. But I said, yep, absolutely, I will do that. So went ahead, and she wanted to drop off like 3 o'clock. I said, I can't do that. So I got to take my father-in-law to the doctor up in Ormond, and I don't know what time it's going to be. So she said between like 3 and 6. And I said, we got to make it much closer to the 6 or later, because the doctor appointment. She said, absolutely, I'll have my sister drop her off, because I won't be in town. I'm going to have to leave town before then. So we'll definitely do that. It's okay, reach out when we get back. So got that set up. Came time to run up to the father-in-law's doctor appointment. So we jumped in the truck, take him up there. This doctor's office is anywhere from 8 minutes to 2 hours. It never makes sense. And it's a bullshit. Just a follow up every like month. He's got to go up there so he can get his pain pills and shit. So it's a bunch of crap. So we get there, drop him off. I ran down to Lowe's, had to pick up some stuff I needed for Lowe's, and stopped there real quick, got back, and then waited another hour, like an hour and a half, whatever. Apparently, I guess they changed the name of their company that they're working through, so he had to fill out all new paperwork. It says email it to us. So his handwriting is so horrendous anymore that they wouldn't be able to read it. So it was a waste of time. So he spent like an hour plus just filling out paperwork, that crap they won't be able to read. So my thought is just transfer it over. You have the same patient log, just transfer your stuff over, but whatever. So he got done there, we left, headed back, started back by the parts store, returned the 2 belts that that didn't fit for me, and went ahead and said, hold it, dropped it off in there, and got my money back, refunded back to my card. Unfortunately, I got back home, I realized I didn't give back my original receipt. So the 2 belts that I still have, I don't have receipts for, but not the end of the world. I mean, they're $25, whatever, so nobody really cares. But it'd be nice to have receipts for all the stuff that I no longer have. So, but went ahead from there, got back to the house, dropped my father-in-law off, played with the dog a little bit, went and got my run in. Mom was making like a roast in the crock pot, that instead of getting like a big roast, she bought like stew meat and little chunked up meats and stuff, and I'm cooking it up, so we're having that, I guess, instead of a roast. So apparently, I guess it was like $1 cheaper or something, I don't understand, but we'll see how it turns out. So went ahead and got my run in, got my shower, wife got home from work, and then we ended up eating, and it wasn't as good, by no means, nowhere near as good. So definitely hope was buy the roast. And now if this meat's $1 and the roast is $25 maybe, but if it's $25 and $24, just buy the damn roast. I don't care. So it is what it is. So we'll go from there, but definitely not my choice. Also, it's that weird, you're trying to find little chunks of meat mixed in with the potatoes and the carrots and stuff, and just before you pull a big chunk of meat out, let the juices drain off it, slice up what you want, and you're on your plate, you're good to go. So this one here is definitely not as good. So went ahead and knocked it out, watched an episode of Wentworth, or about half an episode of Wentworth, when they came to drop the dog off. So I went ahead and put the other dog up so I get the new dog in. Met the sister I'd never met before, got the dog dropped in, we chatted a little bit, got her all set up, sent her outside to play, and then introduced the new dog to the little doodle I have that goes home tomorrow. And I was a little concerned because it's a big giant Rottweiler, and she plays a little rough. Like I said, doesn't know how to play well, so she gets a little bit aggressive in the process. And this doodle is full on just insane hyper, and I was so scared. She's fragile. She's like a little tiny doodle. I was afraid she'd get hurt, so I decided to hell with it, to keep them separated, make my life a whole lot easier in the process. So yeah, I went ahead and did that. Hung out in the evening, just kind of rotating the dogs back and forth as I was outside. Finished up my cigar and went back in. Wife decided she was late enough, she didn't want to watch anything. She was working on her CPAP machine earlier. Must not have got it hooked up and working right, because she didn't use it when she went to bed. So didn't tell anybody, didn't ask for help. So hopefully she can get that figured out and get herself some more peaceful sleep, and then hopefully I can get some more peaceful sleep as well. So, but I'm excited. Also, the doodle goes home this last night with the doodle on my bed, because she sleeps like I'm really like lays on top of my legs a lot. Ends up allowing me not to sleep in a very natural position, so my back's been getting pretty sore. So I'm kind of glad to see her go home. So that'll be a good thing tomorrow. Hopefully she goes home tomorrow. So I got another dog coming tomorrow, and then that'll be interesting. So it's another hyper young dog, like a year and a half, like that. But he is a much more durable pit bull that super friendly, super just, oh my God, rambunctious as hell. But I'm hoping him and the Rottweiler can play together, because if the Rottweiler steps on him, or gets a little too aggressive in the play, he won't get broke as easily as that little tiny fair-boned doodle would. So anyway, that's all I got for right now. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Have yourself a safe, wonderful day. Thanks for watching.